What's up, everybody? This is going to be an update to the VZClusterMod episode that I did a few months ago. So what some people had told me is that on the 2006 clusters that you can turn the shift light on, but it never actually works. And I have to admit that after I made that video and went out and set my own RPM limits, I went out and drove the car, and sure enough, it never did turn on. The only time it ever turned on for me is when I was at Pontiac Adventures last September and I was doing my laps on the circle track because I was in second gear the whole time and I was getting right to my red line. So I was getting near 7,000 RPM, and it was only at that point that it was actually turning on. So I got to thinking about, okay, why is it turning on at 6,800 RPM? And then I went back through the presets that I had set, and for fifth gear, I had set it for 6,800 RPM. So I was playing around today and I said, you know what? I'm going to change just fifth gear to a different RPM and see what happens. I changed it to 4,200 RPM, and sure enough, in every single gear, the light comes on at 4,200 RPM. So something is clearly different about the programming in the '06 cluster, and I'm not sure what it is, but fifth gear is the only value that is referenced for the shift light. So you can't have a different shift light for every gear, like an 04 and an 05. That's unfortunate, but it means you can set an overall red line. You just have to change the fifth gear parameter. So I think in my case, I'm going to set it at 6,500, and it'll be close enough for most of my gear changes. If I'm going 6,500 in fifth gear, I'm going to jail anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But for the other gears, it'll be good for the drag strip because it'll come on fast enough that I'll be able to change gear without hitting my actual rev limiter in the ECU. So if you have an '06 and your shift light has never worked, that is the solution. It only works for the setting you put in fifth gear. Everything else, you can just leave it 0 because it doesn't seem to make a difference. So hopefully that'll help you if you have wanted a shift light on an '06 and you haven't been able to figure it out. That is the one way to make one work. So hope it works for you. See you later.